War is often explained with maps, military strategies, and political speeches. But war is never just about governments. It is about people. A child hiding under a table while sirens scream through the night. A mother calling her son again and again, hoping he will answer. A city that once lived in peace, now learning how to survive fear. Today we're going to look at one of the most dangerous conflicts in the world, the growing tension between Iran, Israel, and the powerful involvement of the United States. But this story is not just about missiles and politics. It is about the millions of innocent people trapped in the middle. Chapter 1. How it all began. To understand this conflict, we need to go back in time. For decades, Iran and Israel were not enemies. But everything changed after the Iranian Revolution. When a new government came to power in Iran, it strongly opposed Israel's existence. From that moment forward, the relationship between the two countries became hostile. Over the years, both sides began preparing for conflict. Iran started supporting groups that oppose Israel across the Middle East. Israel, on the other hand, viewed Iran as one of its most serious threats. What followed was not a traditional war. It was something more secretive. A shadow war. Cyber attacks, secret operations, airstrikes carried out far from the public eye. For years, the world barely noticed, until things began to change. Chapter 2. The Shadow War Turns Real. In recent years, tensions between Iran and Israel have grown more dangerous than ever. Military strikes, drone attacks, and missile launches have pushed the region closer to open war. Cities that once felt safe suddenly found themselves under threat. Sirens began echoing through neighborhoods. Families rushed into underground shelters. Air defense systems lit up the night sky. For the people living there, the conflict is not a political debate. It is a daily reality. Chapter 3. America enters the picture. The United States has long been Israel's strongest ally. For decades, Washington has supported Israel with military aid, advanced defense systems, and diplomatic backing. This partnership plays a huge role in the balance of power in the Middle East. To Iran, the presence of the United States in the region represents a direct challenge. To Israel, American support is essential for national security. This complicated relationship has turned a regional conflict into something much bigger. Because when global powers become involved, the stakes grow higher, and the consequences become global. Chapter 4. The People Who Pay the Price. In every war, politicians debate strategy, but civilians face the reality. Homes destroyed, schools closed, hospitals overwhelmed, children growing up surrounded by fear instead of safety. Across different parts of the Middle East, innocent people are forced to live with constant uncertainty. A family in Israel may run to shelters during missile alerts. A family in Iran may fear airstrikes in the night. And in many nearby regions already struggling with conflict, life becomes even harder. These are people who never chose war, yet they carry its heaviest burden. Chapter 5. How this war affects the world. Many people think conflicts like this only affect the Middle East, but in today's world, war travels far beyond the battlefield. One of the most critical locations affected by tension is the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow waterway is one of the most important oil routes on Earth. A large portion of the world's energy supply passes through it. If conflict disrupts this route, the effects ripple across the planet. Fuel prices rise, global markets react, and economies thousands of miles away feel the shock. War today is not local, it is global. Chapter 6. A question humanity still faces. Every nation involved in conflict speaks about victory, but ordinary people ask a different question. When will it end? A father holding his children during an air raid, a mother waiting for news from a battlefield, a child growing up without knowing what peace feels like. These are the quiet stories behind every headline. Different countries, different languages, but the same fear. History will remember the strategies, the battles, the leaders who made the decisions. But the real story of war is much simpler. It is the silence after the explosion, the empty chair at the dinner table, and the hope shared by millions of ordinary people that one day the world will choose peace over power. Because in the end, war does not create winners.